Hey guys, Cody here, welcome to my channel, and in this video I wanted to share with you how I specifically help do leadership coaching with the different individuals within the different businesses that I own. And the reason that I wanted to do this is because I get the question asked a lot of the times is, how do you manage multiple different businesses at the same time with so many different people doing so many different things? Because to be honest, it can be a challenge having conversations with different people in different departments that are doing different things, and it can kind of get overwhelming at times, and especially if you're just getting started and you're just trying to figure out how to stay organized yourself and be able to manage yourself, then when it comes to managing other people, it can become challenging. So at the end of this video, I want to be able to have you feel confidently that you have a system that you can put into place to be able to help manage the people in your business. And it doesn't matter what business you're in, whether it's real estate, whether it's e-com, whether it's social media agency, or whatever you do, this can be brought to any business that you're building. So I'm going to specifically go through this with you. It should only take 15 minutes when you're doing this review with anyone on your team. Because how many times have you had a meeting that went 30 minutes, an hour, and it just felt like it was a waste of time because you were going over things that didn't really matter? What I like to get to is right to the data, not the drama. Because in my business, the drama doesn't really matter. I'm looking for the data. What are the numbers? What did we accomplish? What are we struggling with? How do we get better? And how do we get better faster? So I'm going to go through these with you right now. So the first part of this is when, in that 15 minutes, where you spend that first minute celebrating a victory. So if I'm having a conversation with somebody on the team, it's, hey Bryce, hey Nick, hey Kelly, whoever that is on the team, it's, hey, what was one of the victories that you had personally, professionally over the last week? Because typically I'm having these conversations on a weekly basis. So how did we do this last week? What was a personal and a professional win? So we start the conversation off with something positive so that we can, move into the conversation in a positive light, because as you know, in business, there's a lot of things that happen that aren't always positive and problems you have to work through. So we like to start the conversation off positively. So that's the first thing. Then the next 2 minutes, we typically are going to be spending on discussing key metrics, such as new clients signed up, pending deals, depending on what business that I'm talking to the individual on the team. If it's the media team, we're talking about, new affiliate signups, course, product sales, things like that. If it's on a real estate company, it's how many appointments did you set? How many calls were made? How many contracts sent? How many contracts signed? Those different metrics. So whatever the important metrics are that need to be tracked on a daily, weekly basis, that's what that 2-minute conversation is. And it's not to discuss, well, here's why it didn't happen or here's why it did happen. It's just, what were the metrics, and we'll discuss that later. Then the next thing that we're going to discuss is our Smart Day and Smart Week. And if you're wondering what the heck is Smart Day, Smart Week, there's another video on my channel where I go over, a productivity hack. It should be linked somewhere in the description or somewhere on the page here. I'll have that video linked so you can watch that video, because Smart Day and Smart Week is something that I utilize myself and I have my team utilize to be better organized, to be more productive, so they spend more time doing things that are pushing the needle forward versus doing busy work. We want to be productive. We don't want to be busy. So that's one of the things that I'm constantly having that conversation with the people on my team. So within this part, I'm ranking them on a scale of 1 to 10. How was their Smart Day and Smart Week over the last week? And then if it's anything but a 10, I ask the question, okay, well, what do we do to get that closer to a 10? And let them answer, and then we, end that conversation. We don't get into a discussion, we're just figuring out how do we get that to a 10. Then we talk about our 90-day targets. And so specifically with our 90-day targets, what we're going to do is, spending a minute to briefly discuss the target for new clients, closed deals, whatever that metric is for this certain individual. We talk about, okay, in 90 days we want to be here. Based on the activity and productivity from the last week, are we on track or are we off track? And then, we're going to discuss getting back on track later in this conversation. Then what we're going to do is talk about our massive action. So we're going to spend 1 minute discussing their commitments from the previous week's call and discussing whether those things happened or not. We're not going to discuss about why they didn't get done. It's just going to be, did they happen or did they not happen? Then we're going to spend the next 9 minutes identifying and discussing those points that we already talked about. So we're going to go back to their smart day, smart week, why wasn't it a 10, and then we're going to talk about the action items and whether those were accomplished or not. And then what we're going to do is identify, hey Bryce, hey Kelly, whoever it is on the team that I'm talking to, we're going to talk about where are you feeling most stuck or discontent. And then with the goal of the call is to end with 3 to 5 action items for them to be able to leave that call with and to be working on towards that next week, which all revolve around that 90-day target and all revolve around making sure the smart days and smart weeks are happening consistently. And then the final question I'm going to ask is, what is your number one takeaway from our call today? So when I ask that, then they can, identify, okay, what's the number one thing that I need to do better, going into this week? And it's not to say they aren't doing everything great. It's just how could we do even better? Because it's always about, doing good and how do I do better, right? Because that's how we improve and that's how we grow as people. So that's essentially the 15-minute conversation that I'll have with the different individuals on the team, so we don't spend an hour talking about nothing. We can get right to the core focus and right to the things that really matter, and then get off the call with an actionable check, actionable 3 to 5 items, and then the number one takeaway with the individual on the team. And so let me know in the comments below if you'd like a copy of this. Make a comment below. I could have my team put this onto YouTube and share this with you. And again, if you don't know what Smart Day or Smart Week is, check this description below. You can get linked over to that YouTube video so you can get a better understanding of Smart Day, Smart Week, and how to be more productive yourself and how to help your team be more productive as well. So if you get any value from this, as always, I'm going to ask for you to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll see you in the next video.